Hi guys, welcome to AlwayzGamezTV. I'm Reginald and let's review The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 1, All That Remains. Now before we go any further into this review, if you haven't played the Season 1 of The Walking Dead, then I very much suggest you go play that before watching this video, because I will be saying some spoilers which happened in the Season 1 and I don't want to ruin that story for you if you haven't played it yet. So don't say I didn't warn you.
Hello?
So how does The Walking Dead Season 2 Episode 1 hold up to all the previous episodes? Well, in all honesty, this episode has a very different feel to it than any of the previous ones. Right from the obvious start, you are actually playing as Clementine, and obviously not Lee, who died at the end of Season 1. It seems to be in this episode that Telltale are trying to convey the idea of loneliness and isolation as you're playing as Clementine. Admittedly, later on into the episode you do meet up with the group, but you still feel very isolated and very much disconnected from all the other characters within the story.
Look, I'm sorry I bothered you.
Alright, we'll talk about it later.
On a large percentage of the episode you are very much going to be on your own, and Clementine won't be interacting with very many people. This could be done purposely by Telltale Games to make you feel more, well, if you weren't connected to Clementine after the first season, then I guess you probably won't be much now, but I guess that's to encourage that connection and feel more protective over her and feel more of a bond like you felt with Lee from Season 1. However, due to this approach by Telltale, you don't feel very connected to any of the other characters that Clementine does actually meet within the story. So when it does come to any major decision making which could help save one person over another, in all honesty these decisions don't feel as epic or over impactful on the story at this present moment, due to the fact that you don't really know a huge amount of either one of the characters and they haven't really done a lot for you. The main person that you really do care about is Clementine.
House meeting in 5 minutes. Set. It won't take long. There's a few things we need to discuss.
I've heard in a lot of other places and a lot of other reviews that they've complained that this episode is very much a setup episode, which in all honesty, you can't blame Telltale Games to want this to be a setup episode. This is episode 1. It's like a TV series. The first episode is the setup episode, and the story will build from that pilot episode and build off through the series. Looking at the art style and the graphics, you can tell that Telltale Games have improved dramatically since Season 1, especially if you go back to it recently and then play this episode. You can tell that they've spent more time on a lot of the environment, not just the characters themselves. But they haven't changed it to a point that you don't recognise that it's The Walking Dead by Telltale Games.
I was just curious on how you made it this far.
I just tried to stay with good people and not do anything dumb.
Hey, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked.
The control system is very much the same from the previous season. It's going to be very much a point-and-click adventure with button time events and decision making which will evolve your story as you go along. I find that as I'm playing it as Clementine within this season, she seems to be able to get away with a lot more different responses than what Lee came up with. For example, in one of the conversations you have with a group, there is an option to give someone the puppy dog eyes, which obviously for a child, they can get away with a lot more and can be used in her own little way to be able to convince people to help her. Which obviously for an adult, that doesn't work. No! No! Due to some of the decisions that you have to make within the story and some of the situations that happen to Clementine and some of the button time events that happen, personally to me I thought this episode was a lot darker compared to a lot of the other episodes. Maybe that was just me, but there seems to be a lot more gore within this episode than before. You thought bashing zombies' heads in was gory. There's a few situations or a few scenes in this which could be quite disturbing, and if you've got a bit of a weak stomach you probably might not like it. However, due to these situations it does make you feel more and more connected to Clementine. I'm not going to really comment on the story of the episode because I don't want to ruin it for you. However, my main concern is at the end of this episode, I was a bit unsure the direction of where they want to go with this season. It's still a very good episode, it's a very entertaining story. However, With the season 1, I understood that playing as Lee, your main priority was to protect Clementine and to make sure she was okay. However, within this season, it seems to be more just about Clementine, and there's no real aim or drive or obvious direction that I'm heading with this character.
Well, here we go.
Overall, guys, in my personal opinion, this is a very dark episode. It's certainly not the worst episode of what Telltale Games have done for The Walking Dead, but it's probably not the best one. Like I've heard a lot of other places, yes, it's very much a setup episode. A lot happens at the beginning, it's a slow in the middle, and it has a slight pickup at the end. Compared to the episode 1 of the season 1, I personally thought the pilot episode for season 1 was better than this pilot episode for season 2. However, one thing that this episode does do tremendously well is make you feel so connected to Clementine, and you will do anything to make sure she's okay. If you're a fan of season 1 and you are a fan of zombie games and you like good stories, personally this is a very good game to go for, very approachable. Again, another really good game by Telltale Games, and yeah, I'm looking forward to episode 2, definitely. I really want to see where this story's going. Really sorry I wasn't wearing my tooth in for this video, guys. I'm having a few problems with my false tooth, which I wear, which, if you don't know, I have a false tooth, so there we go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at AlwayzGamesTV and Facebook /AlwayzGamesTV. And don't forget to keep checking out the website, which is www.alwayzgamestavcom. If you like this video, please click and subscribe, and you'll always keep up to date with all the videos that we release. Thank you so much for watching again. I'm Roger Knowles, and this is Always Games TV. We'll see you next time.